This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, hello there. It's Jeff Cutter and welcome you to another sports catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy for this June the 6th is someone Bjorn to be wild. That's right, it's Bjorn Borg, a legendary tennis player. It's weird how I seem to always get like massive tennis players. Like I got Djokovic recently and Nadal. Now I got Borg. To be fair, I almost went with Cam Neely, but because I did something on Cam Neely's career from All Samuelson's cheap ass hit last month, I basically have to change. Like, I basically try to make sure that if it has a massive event, that person gets a birthday boy. I don't want a double video on a person. So, anyway, Bjorn Borg is now 65 years old. Can't believe he's that old. He's only 65. Fuck. So, anyway, he was a former #1 tennis player. Between 1974 and 1981, he actually won 11 Grand Slam singles titles, 6 at the French Open and 5 at Wimbledon, which is weird how Borg basically sucked at the other 2 majors. He went to 4 U.S. Open finals and didn't make it. I don't think he was good in Australia either. So anyway, he was the first male player to win 5 Wimbledon titles in the Open era. Well, since 1968, when they decided to change professionalism. So anyway, Borg ended up winning 4 consecutive French Open titles, 78, 80, and 81, and was 6-0 in French Open finals, which is pretty good. The 4th best mark at a Grand Slam in finals. Sampras was 7-0 at Wimbledon finals. Novak was 9-0 at Australian Open finals, and Rafa and Nadal is 13-0 at French Open finals. Wow. He was one of 2 male players, alongside Federer, to appear in the French and Wimbledon finals for 4 consecutive years. It's pretty impressive, huh? He ended up winning 3 year-end tournaments. So, anyway. He was a teenage sensation and all that. However, he would have a massive burnout. Anyway, he would represent Sweden in the 1972 Davis Cup at age 15, beating a New Zealander and all that. But he did win the Wimbledon Junior singles title. So anyway, he went to the French Open in 1973 at age 16 and actually went to the 4th round when he lost to Adriano Panatta. Borg was actually seeded 6th at the 1973 Wimbledon, but that was because there was a row over the ATP suspending a key Yugoslavian tennis player from Wimbledon because he didn't play in the Davis Cup stuff. So basically, there was a lot of walkout and all that. He ended up losing in the quarters to Roger Taylor. So, yeah. That was huge. So anyway, at the age of 17, well, he made his only appearance at the Australian Open at age 17. So he never played in the Australian Open in his career after that. Wow. That's kind of stupid, don't you think? But anyway, he reached the 3rd round when he lost to Phil Dent. But anyway, he won the singles title at age 17 in 1974, beating Manuel Orantes in 5 sets. It was amazing. He wasn't even 18 yet. I thought he was 20 when he won. He would retain the French Open in 75, beating Guillermo Filas. Bjorn Borg actually set a record for most Davis Cup singles matches won in a row, 33. But he would win Wimbledon in 76, despite the fact, well, he lost at the French Open to Adriano Panatta. But basically, Borg was not good. In fact, Panatta is the only guy who has taken down Borg at the French Open. And that was twice. Amazing. Borg would win Wimbledon 76 without losing a set, beating Ilie Nastase in the final. He actually ended up in the final of the 76 U.S. Open, which somehow was played on clay courts. Why, I don't know. But anyway, he lost to Jimmy Connors. In 1977, he was supposed to be at the French Open, but he skipped it because he was under World Team Tennis contracts. But he got to Wimbledon and beat Jimmy Connors in 5 sets, which was weird. All that. Unfortunately, Borg aggravated a shoulder injury prior to the U.S. Open, and he had to retire. In '78, he had the French and Wimbledon double. He won the French Open against Guillermo Vilas in the final, and in Wimbledon, he beat Connors in straight sets. In 1978, the U.S. Open finally decided to put their tournament on hard courts. He would lose the final to Connors. But in '79, he basically did well. He won the French Open over Victor Pecci and actually beat Roscoe Tanner in the Wimbledon final. Roscoe Tanner. But anyway, Borg was then upset by Tanner in the U.S. Open. However, in 1980, he won the French Open title, beating Gerartes again. But 1980 Wimbledon was his crowning achievement, not only because he won his 5th consecutive title, but the final match against John McEnroe was epic. If you look up 1980 Borg versus McEnroe, you'll know about the fantastic tiebreaker. Now remember, at that time, tiebreakers in majors, you had to win by 2 games. There was no tiebreaker system in a sense. So basically, you had to win 2 straight games, if you will. Oh, no, sorry. That was a tiebreaker. Sorry. That was a real tiebreaker. 1816. Yeah, that tiebreaker. I thought that was games, but no. No, the 5th set, you have to win by 2 games. All that. So anyway, Borg won the match and prevailed after 3 hours, 53 minutes. And it was humongous. So I implore you to watch the 1980 Borg-McEnroe matchup because it's basically the second best Wimbledon final behind Federer Nadal 2008. And it actually was good for NBC because NBC decided to broadcast the Wimbledon final live and all that. They took a gamble. And with the TV ratings, they basically kept going until ESPN bought them out for 2013. Well, for the Wimbledon rights, that is. He lost the U.S. Open to John McEnroe as McEnroe got kind of a revenge tour. And then Borg won his last Grand Slam at the 81 French Open, beating Van Lando, I mean. So his 6 French Open titles are only bettered by Nadal. He made the Wimbledon final. He got to 41 straight wins at the All England Club. He shocked Jimmy. He was down by 2 sets to Jimmy Connors, but he beat him in the semi. And then in the finals, McEnroe finally got the title. It was amazing. Borg would lose to McEnroe at the U.S. Open and headed straight for the airport. However, the 81 U.S. Open would be the last Grand Slam final. But major tournaments and organizers were enforcing a new rule. By 1982, players had to play 10 official tournaments per year. And Borg wanted to curtail his schedule because he won so often. So yeah, that was huge and all that. So he would only play 1 tournament in 1982, losing to Yannick Noah in Monte Carlo. Nevertheless, it was a shock that he actually decided to retire at the peak at age 26. And McEnroe even wanted Borg to continue, which is good for McEnroe's character, if you will, even though everyone thought McEnroe was just a piece of crap. He would play a couple of tournaments in the 80s, but nothing much. He actually had 3 residences, a penthouse in Monte Carlo, a mansion on Long Island, and a small island off the Swedish coast. Why would he have a mansion on Long Island? So anyway, Borg actually had a fashion label, which was second in Sweden behind Kevin Klein. But anyway, he actually made an attempt to come back on the men's tour in 1991, 9 years after his retirement. It's like, what? He decided to grow his hair out like in his previous career and return to using a wooden racket. Kind of stupid, don't you think? So basically, he didn't do anything. The problem with Borg with the comeback is that he decided to keep doing a wooden racket instead of graphite, and it cost him dearly. He couldn't win a match. He was fantastic and all that. Basically calm. Borg had a few big personal life stuff. He married a Romanian tennis pro, but it ended in divorce 4 years later. He fathered a child with a Swedish model, Yannick Borderling. He was married to an Italian singer for 4 years. And in 2002, he married a third wife, Patricia Oswald. And then she has a... So yeah, that was huge. He was number one for 109 weeks, won 77 top-level singles titles. In the International Tennis Hall of Fame, the BBC gave Borg a Lifetime Achievement Award. That's pretty good. And he was named Sweden's top sports person of all time in 2014. I mean, Borg still ranks sixth in male tennis players winning the most Grand Slam titles, even though that he won his last one like 4 decades ago. It was weird how Borg didn't want to play in the Australian Open. I actually found this out yesterday that Andre Agassi kept skipping the Australian Open for many years. And then the first time he played it, he won it. That was in 95. So anyway, yeah, he didn't want to play the Australian Open. That's kind of weird, don't you think? But anyway, yeah, done pretty well for himself. So yeah, Bjorn Borg was an icon in tennis, but he gave it up a little too soon. I guess burnout does ruin you at times, and I'm afraid, and I don't want Naomi Osaka to have the same fate. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just check the sports news on her. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.